Hey guys, what's up? This is Cosmic Phantom here today, and I wanna talk to you guys about the perfect Dragon Ball Z game. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of talk lately since the new Dragon Ball Z game coming out, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, is starting to really stay on some people's minds, and now there's this whole talk of what's better and what's not. Mainly, what I want to talk about is perfection when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. A lot of us have kind of gotten to this idea that there's only one perfect thing when it comes to Dragon Ball Z. Some of us say it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, others say it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Some would even say Raging Blast, or Raging Blast 2, I should say. But I want to bring the point that none of those games I believe are perfect. And the reason why I say that is because, not because I just want to disagree with people just to disagree, but I think perfection is, if anything, an idea or a concept that someone has that's something more personal. Some people say Budokai 3 was the greatest Dragon Ball Z game in the world. And while, yes, I will admit Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 was a very good Dragon Ball Z game, I will not say it was the greatest in the world. Only because, for me, there were some minor flaws that I didn't like about Budokai 3. One being, I didn't really like the story. Sure, the game didn't really push the story a lot, but I mean, it had this open world story that, was really cool to fly in. But I just didn't like how things were taken with the story mode. It just wasn't that fulfilling for me. When we look at Budokai Tenkaichi 3, many people will say that that was the world's greatest Dragon Ball Z game, and even then, I also have to disagree. Though I've put many hours into both games, and I've definitely put a lot of hours into Tenkaichi 3, Tenkaichi 3 was lacking in certain areas. If you truly do love Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, or Budokai 3, I feel like you should admit its flaws. Tenkaichi 3, it had a lot of copy and paste characters. I think all of us can agree with that, unless you're just being stubborn. It had a lot of copy and paste in it. And after a while, it kind of got old. It not much felt different after about, maybe the first couple of battles you went into. You started seeing some of the similarities between characters. And if you look at Budokai 3, I don't know. After a while, for me personally, I got tired of fighting. Just the side scrolling is not bad. 3D side fighter, it's not terrible, but after a while, it becomes boring to continuously keep playing. But besides that, the idea of perfection. Now, when I look at a Dragon Ball Z game, if I had to say what was the perfect Dragon Ball Z game, honestly, I don't think I can because there are a lot of Dragon Ball Z games, first of all, and many of them have things that I love, while there are a lot of flaws that they have. For instance, I really love Dragon Ball Z First Limit. It had an amazing story with great cutscenes, but it didn't go to the Buu Saga and it didn't have a lot of characters. So right there, that doesn't make it the perfect one, but for somebody else, they may see that as being perfect. And reasons why, maybe because they didn't like the Buu Saga. Maybe they thought the Buu Saga was trash and they rather end the story at the Cell Saga than continue it on to the Buu Saga. So for them, Burst Limit or even Budokai may be the perfect Dragon Ball Z game for them. But I really want to hit the issue of those people who keep on bringing up these arguments of how Budokai 3 is 20 times better, or how Tenkaichi 3 is 20 times better, or Raging Blast 2. Guys, I understand that, it's hard to change, especially when you've grown up with a franchise or you've grown up playing a certain game and you just loved the way it was. But to continuously beat down other people's, opinions, or to sit there and call them idiots because they don't agree with you, that's taking it too far. And I noticed that a lot of people have done that. People keep dogging Xenoverse, calling it trash, this, that, and whatnot. And that's not fair. You're not giving the game even a chance, to show you what it's really about. I mean, had we done that when Budokai 3 was coming out, I mean, who knows? Gosh, we were so young when it came out. The nostalgia is there. Maybe that's why a lot of us can't get away from it. We had it when we were kids. It's always going to be there, and we just absolutely love it. But that doesn't give us a reason to sit there and dog Xenoverse. Xenoverse, I'm giving it a chance. I'm not saying Xenoverse is going to be the world's greatest, but I'm not saying that Xenoverse is going to be shit. Xenoverse seems like it's going to be a very excellent game, and if it does end up making the top of my list, then, well, that's just me. That's how I feel on the game. But for those people who constantly keep dogging, and keep dogging, and keep dogging the game because you don't feel like it fits your quota, you need to go ahead and just drop whatever it is you're doing and rethink a lot of things. Because if everything has to fit your quota, you will never be satisfied. And if you think that there's going to be a perfect Dragon Ball Z game, well, how can I put this? Don't wait too long because it may never happen, you know? Unless you are personally designing, developing, and creating the next Dragon Ball Z game, it will not be everything you want it to be. And there's probably going to be people who will be offended by this because it seems like I'm attacking them or something like that. And I just want to make it clear I'm not attacking you, but I'm hoping that you understand that attacking other people because they don't agree with your opinion is not right. I understand if you like Budokai 3 or BT3, but to sit there and attack someone's opinion or to attack a game that's not even out, it hasn't even hit stores, to sit there and call it dog shit, to call it a crap piece of whatever you want to call it, that's not fair. That's like you seeing a new student who just came into your class, and the previous student that was there was a jerk. He was just a complete asshole. And all of a sudden, you've already prejudged this next student. He's going to be just like the other student. Well, how is that fair to this student? He doesn't even know you. You've never met him. You've never spent any time with him. It's the same thing with the Dragon Ball Z game. Xenoverse has never spent 1 minute in any of our consoles. Unless you had the network test, which was a long time ago, it's not, you know nothing about the game at this point. So if you sit there and you judge and you judge and judge and judge other people based on their comments on the game, and and want to keep putting up videos or whatever, whoever you are, about how much this game is going to suck, well, I'm sorry. I think Rhymestyle and ZZ Toasting have said it the best. It doesn't matter. We're going to love it. Now, to get off the whole Xenoverse thing, going back to the Dragon Ball Z game perfection. Perfection, like I said, guys, is a concept. It's an idea, and it's a personal one. So to sit here and argue with someone about how Budokai 3 is better than BT3 when you know the other person loves BT3 better is pointless. We can agree that we all love Dragon Ball Z. So what if somebody else loves BT3 more than they love Budokai 3? That's them. Let them be. Don't sit there and try to change their opinion. And for those people who love Raging Blast 2 more than the other games, let them have it. That's what they love. If you don't love those games, and you love, for instance, Burst Limit, or you love Budokai 2, then that's you. And that's okay. But I'm just bringing up this point because it seems to be an ongoing problem in the DBZ community in general. I have noticed in comment sections on YouTube, for many, many YouTubers, how people bicker back and forth arguing over what they think is right, what is perfection. There's a problem in the DBZ community, and to simply put it, we don't know fact from opinion. We take opinions and we think that they're facts, and that is what's destroying the community in some ways. Black Super Saiyan and Dr. Love, they put up a couple of videos a while ago on how they were disappointed in the Dragon Ball Z community because of the way they were acting towards Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, and some of the things they were saying on videos about how, it's going to be dog shit, they don't do things right, they're just doing this wrong, they should do it like they did in Budokai 3 or in Burst Limit. And I definitely do agree. I may have mentioned this before, but I do agree with what they said. I was definitely disappointed in the Dragon Ball Z community, and even now, I'm still a little disappointed in the Dragon Ball Z community because I don't see the change. It's been addressed multiple times at this point, and I think I mentioned this to Black Super Saiyan on the comment section, and I simply told him I believe that the Dragon Ball Z community, the gaming community especially, is spoiled. We've been given pretty much everything we can think of when it comes to Dragon Ball Z games. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody. So when the new game comes out, well, we wanted to be an update on what we love, not what somebody else loves, but what we want. What whatever it is that you like. If you like Budokai 3, you pretty much want another Budokai game. You don't want, Tenkaichi 3. That's not your forte. So in that sense is why I said I feel like we are definitely spoiled. We don't know, how to sit down and say, okay, I can make amends with that and say I'll let it go. So this idea of perfection is really destroying a lot of the people, I would say, in the DBZ community. I mean, why can't we sit down and come together and actually, agree on something, instead of arguing about who's right, who's wrong? It really doesn't matter. Dragon Ball Z games are great. If you can agree with that, then I think that's fine. If there's a certain Dragon Ball Z game you like, that's fine too. I have no problem with that. I've been a Dragon Ball Z fan for a very long time. I've played pretty much, I would say, every game on the console except for Super Dragon Ball Z. I did not play that one, but I've pretty much played every game on the console, and I've got to say, all of them have their weaknesses, and all of them have their strengths. So basically, it's all based on personal preference. Whichever one you prefer is the one you're probably going to go most to. Me personally, I'm looking for something new in Dragon Ball Z. I've played these games for a long, long time. I've kind of burnt myself out on some of these games. BT3 I played like it for 2 or 3 years, maybe after that game was actually released. Kept playing it, burnt myself out on it. Budokai 3, I stopped playing it once I got into Tenkaichi 3. Once the HD remix came out, not the HD remix, I'm sorry, but the HD collection. Once it came out, I got the collection, I played it, got the trophies and everything, and once again I saw myself getting bored and burnt out. And I think what the kicker is, this is nostalgia factors, and I've seen people mention this, don't let nostalgia get in the way of a game. If a game is a little outdated in some ways, then it is. Don't let nostalgia say, no, it's still the same, it's good, it's the best ever. Be willing to admit there's a flaw. That's pretty much what I'm saying. But, tell me what you guys think. Do you think there's a perfect Dragon Ball Z game, or do you honestly think that, perfection is more of just a personal idea or concept that people use, in a way to their advantage, to make other people feel bad or to make other people feel like they have to join their side? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I will see you guys later.